Alright, so now I want to show you guys one technique to do the planar matrix project. So we're going to download a plugin for the Fusion 360 program that we used last time. And this plugin is called Slicer. And you can get it by going to this website right here, which is the Fusion plugin page. So that's the website, or you can Google search it, and it's right here, or you can search for it if it doesn't come up, but I'll click on that, and then put in your operating system and download, or Mac OS or Windows. Then once you download it, go through the installation steps on the program, and then launch Fusion. Open the model that you've created that you want to make into a sculpture. This is just a really quick, easy kind of shape, just as a demo. And then you should be able to go right here to make, and then go to Slicer for Fusion 360. Make it high, click on it, okay. And then it'll automatically launch Fusion 360's Slicer plugin. Alright, so this is the model, and navigating this screen is a little different than Fusion 360. You actually right-click to move around the orbit tool, and then zoom is the mouse wheel or pinch. So now, first step, we want to make sure it's oriented the right way, which it is. If not, you can click on this little rotation button, and it'll rotate it a few times for you. So mine kind of want up like that. Okay. So now I'm going to change the size of my page that I'm going to use. And if you're using the laser cutter, the maximum size is 12 by 16. So you click on a little plus window down here, rename it to 12 by 16. And then you're going to do the settings over here. I leave 1/4 inch on either side just to be safe. So I make the height 11.75, the length be 15.75. Thickness, I've got a caliper, so bring your material to me early and I will measure the thickness, and you can enter it right there. And then the rest of it should pretty much look like how I've got it here. And of course, make sure you've clicked on to 12 by 16, that's highlighted, and that's where you're setting this up. Units and inches, done. All right, and now you've got to click on this window and change it to the right size. And then we can also increase the size of this. So our height right now is 8 inches. If I wanted to make it 10 inches, depends on how much material it's going to use. So then we select our construction technique. Now all of these techniques are going to be laser cutter friendly. So for example, stacked slices, that gives you flat planes stacked, but because there's no negative space within the planes, it's going to be a lot of material. See, so on the right it gives you kind of the plan of how it's going to look, and so you've got 8 sheets. So if you want to use 8 sheets, you can use this technique, but there are other techniques that use less. So let's go to a different one. Interlock slices. And so that gives you a little bit more negative space, which gives you more room to mess with. So I can remove sections if I want to. I can do all kinds of changes. So I can change my axes so I can make more. Try to fill up 3 sheets as much as I can. I can reduce the number. So it's just kind of a simple shape like that. And then it's only using 2 sheets. And then there's other things I can do, like I can modify the form or change the slice direction. This is actually, so if I rotate it, you'll see So there's lots of different ways you can modify it. You can also, if you wanted to mess with the symmetry some, you can just click on, actually let me finish the modify form, go over here. I can click on, different panels and delete them to kind of create a little different. If I want to get rid of this one that's floating too, you can undo if you want to bring it back. And then I can click on individual ones. Program's a little wonky sometimes and things get jammed up. But that's the interlock slices, and you see you can delete certain things and move things around. And then there's also curve, which just kind of angles the shape a little bit more. And then there's another one, radial slices, which uses kind of a centered access point. And so I can do by count. Again, I can increase that count, increase my radial axis. And if you see these red marks here, that means that there's some kind of an error going on where there's parts that intersect each other or something like that. So you can play with the numbers a little bit, and sometimes you get rid of it, like I just did. So now these 3 sheets should work. Okay, so that's radial slices, and that's a pretty cool looking one. Then this one is awesome for things that are more representational, or if you want to play with just these structures. They're a little bit more complex, but they can be kind of fun. So if I go to folded panels here, it gives you kind of an origami shape, which I might need to make smaller because it doesn't fit this big long shape onto the page there, and that's why I'm getting an error message. So I change the size of it. It might work better. But you can also change the vertice count. So by clicking the down arrow there, it makes it less detailed. And then instead of having it folded, and if you see how it's folded here, like even if you do this in cardboard, you could leave it all, have the laser cut all of these different sections, and it would perforate it so that you can fold it. But another way to do it that I actually like better is split the panels, and it gives you individual pieces, which is kind of cool. And again, I can lower my vertex count. So it's a little less detailed, maybe even fit it onto 2 pages. So if I do one more. You got to kind of go slow, though, because it takes a second to kick in. One more down. There we go. Now I'm on 2 sheets. All right, and then I can do the joint type. I can change it from diamond to gear, which gives you a little notch around it. But that might not work depending on how thick your material is. So if you change the thickness of your material, all that red might disappear. Another way to do it is laced, which is kind of cool because laced gives you holes in the patterns, and you can just sew it together pretty much. Multi-tab has little spacers on it. Puzzle, that one's actually pretty cool too. So that's the puzzle one. And then rivet, seam, etc. So you find one that seems to work for you. And then you use that design. So, okay, we've got our folded panels And now what we're going to do is we're going to get our plans. So we click on Get Plans, and then it gives you these two sheets, and you can change it to a PDF, which is good because then it'll open with Illustrator, and then export to my computer. And we go to our desktop here. We'll save it as plans. And then I'm going to open Illustrator so I can edit it. So let me open my desktop, go to plans, and open. Okay, now I'm going to open one of two. Alright, so now what I want to do is I'm going to select the red numbers here. Okay, so then you select one of the numbers because they're red with the white selection tool. And then we go to select, same stroke color, and it selects all of the red. And then you hit delete. Okay, so now all we have left is the blue. And with the laser cutter, the laser will cut anything that's red, and it will etch anything that's blue. So by mistake, the program's got it backwards. So if I click on one of these and then go to select same stroke color again, it selects all of that. Then if I click here, I bring up this window, I change the B, which is for blue, to 0, and I change red to 255, and then OK. And you can see now all of the tiles are cut or set for cut. And you want to save a copy of the PDF that has all these numbered, and try to keep it somewhat organized, because you're going to use those numbers as a key to put this whole thing together. So it's really crucial that you save that. Now, we've also got to change the size of this paper or cardboard or wood, whatever you're using, to go along with the size of the laser cutter. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the document setups here. Go to document setup, and then edit artboard. Click on that, and then set the size of it. And then if your setup looks like this, we hit artboard options, and we change it to 1612. And that should give us a little room around the objects. So now I'm going to just select out this box. I don't need that. I don't want any kind of extra lines being cut around the object. So now I've got a nice clean drawing set up to cut, and I can just save it as plans A, save PDF, and I've got to set up my other page the exact same way. So now I close this, go to my desktop. Let me minimize this. And then I can go to my plans, right click, open with Adobe Illustrator, and go to page 2. And I'm going to do the same thing. So if you want to see it again, I click on this, go to select, same fill color or stroke color, delete, click on this, go up here again, go select, same stroke color, click on this twice, change this to 0, change the red to 255, and click. Now it's all the right color. Next we go to File, Document Setup, Edit Artboard, Artboard Options, and File, document setup. Change this from points to inches. Edit artboard. Artboard options. Now change this to 16. This to 12. OK. Click to get out. Click on the white arrow. Click on our red bounding box. Delete twice. File. Save as. Save. Oops. Did not want to do that because I just erased our plans. No, it's right there. Let's see. All right. So that's still good. Let me go back here. Make sure you don't save over it. File. Save as. And plans. B. Save. Save PDF. All right, and now we should be ready to laser print.